Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We're picking up pretty much right where we left off. As a matter of fact, some of this is probably duplicate footage, but we're in the middle of our SKS Heavy inaugural simulation test run thing, and we are plotting our deorbit maneuver to try to take us somewhere near Cape Canaveral in Florida for a once around return to launch site. So we will not even be completing one full orbit before we return to Earth, but most of that is because simulations are expensive, and without a crewed 3 Kerbal to low Earth orbit contract supply, uh, basically without our moon program to give us reasons to take the 3 Kerbal to low Earth orbit contracts, we are very, very swiftly running out of money, especially with the impending Mars window. We need to make sure that we have enough money to restart our lunar program and get our research there on the moon surface back up and running. We still have a couple of biomes from the moon that we would like to cover, and we have a unique opportunity to kind of start fresh with all of that. So anyway, we are going to eject our 90 tons of sandwiches and water and leave it in adrift in simulated low Earth orbit as we make preparations to ease into our maneuver node here and go ahead and make our deorbit burn on our 4 OMS engines, which are HA10 118Ks, I believe. At least, man, I really hope they are. If they're not, then they have limited ignitions and we're in a lot of trouble. I'm sure our engineers at Wookiee Aerospace are a lot more better than that. But you can see the new engine configuration dustying up those RS-25 D or E variants with a little exhaust soot, but nothing that really prohibits their ability to make thrust. They're going to be, the RS-25s anyway, are going to be completely refurbished on the ground anyway, at exactly 0 expense to the space program, which is why Kerbal RS-25s are way better than real RS-25s. Anyway, the deorbit burn is mostly complete. We're going to let it ride for just a little bit longer before we ease straight back into a more retrograde type vector to lower that periapsis to well within Earth's atmosphere, and just kind of playing it by ear, although I did have very good feedback from Wookie in the chat during a live stream about how exactly I should be deorbiting this amazing thing. And so far it's proven to be pretty dang awesome. Hauled 90 tons to orbit without even breaking a sweat. We even had some DV left over at main engine cutoff. There's the last little tap from our HA10 OMS engines to bring our periapsis down to something just a little bit more suitable, about 48 kilometers, which is actually just a little spicy for something like this, but I have no doubt in my mind that it will work out pretty well. So we'll close up the cargo bay, we'll fold in our solar panels, we'll get our pitch angle kind of dialed in here a little bit. We still do need to deflect to the north a little bit, so we're just going to kind of ride our trajectory on in, assuming that we need to offset our trajectory by heading just a little bit north. But with SAS primed and ready to go, I'll activate it, I'm sure, when the time is right. We'll go ahead and start our entry maneuver, and for all of that, I will turn you over to Old B for live coverage. SAS off, atmospheric autopilot on, check craft limits for AOA and stuff. Yeah, let's we just need side slip, I'm hoping. SAS is off, master switch is on. I'm really hoping that custom engines will be easier in KSP 2, but I want to learn more about how they're planning on doing all the mod stuff. RP-0 is just Eyes Turn Skyward fanfic. I have no argument. Legitimate 100%. It works. The logic is solid. And Scorpio will also attest to it. Alright, so let's bump through time here until we can get something exciting happening, like spinning wildly out of control, thermal overheat, etc. You've never read our Entered Skyward. Never find where to read it. I'm sure someone here could post a link for you in the chat, Pulsey. Whoa, okay. Hey now. Hey now. Where are you going there, little buddy? And why did I see thrusters push you that direction? That was uncalled for on so many levels. Well, recovered pretty nicely. How's our telemetry looking as far as diverting ourselves north to get over Kennedy Space Center? You know, not so good. But I think we're going to have plenty of glide slope. We're still on our first bounce in. We're going to have plenty of bounce out after this. Hey, stuff is burning off. Those were probably our two thrusters that were supposed to be shielded by the port and are not. That's okay. A blade of thrusters. Everything is fine here. Everything is fine. Imagine custom parts, geometries, etc. will be easier to do, and engine mods will basically just be presets. You're an all-star. I had to call it Altair because Artemis was the name already taken by a resupply ship. Oh. In October, in your PC, you can finally play with graphics mods. Nice. I'll say a few joys greater than spinning up your new PC. It's not this soon. Sky Manly's watching over us. What are you talking about? Sky Manly? That's just a myth, Policy. Pitch up a bit more. Bank angle, banking. Alright. What are we thinking? 30? Ooh, overheat. No, no, no. Right. So because we're trying to deflect north and really doing it at this altitude is probably a bit useless, let's just go ahead and straighten this out a bit and keep the overheats off our SSMEs. No! Please don't explode. Those are the expensive parts. God, the heating model here drives me so crazy. How do you go from like the tippy top end of an overheat warning to no overheat warning? Holy crap, dude. Alright. Sky Manly isn't a myth, I've seen it with my own eyes. 2 messages. 1. East coast of Mexico should be at wait, what? You usually hold 40 degrees until 4 to 5 kilometers per second. I don't know if there's any way we can actually hold that kind of pitch angle currently, because our engines might burn off. You forgot to mention the bottom two SSMEs always overheat. That message was an abomination. Fake news. Sky Manly's fake news. They always show a temp bar, usually not more than half. Oh, we almost pegged them out. Let's see what kind of angle can we get before we start getting overheats on them. Oh, there it is, and wow. Like 27 degrees. It looks like we can just kind of ride this angle. I really don't understand why we're only getting one and not both. The heating model is junk. It would be a really good explanation. Craft has proper mass for something that can survive re-entry from Helio, right, Haro? Yes. Why is it overheating? Max temperature values and part configuration low. For fuck's sake. Yeah. Might heat less at a higher angle. You usually don't point so low. This is unfamiliar territory. Yeah, so I guess we got Alice Campbell at the stick today. I'm hoping. Glenn Armstrong is also on board, our other trained pilot. Engineer Nina, last name I'm not going to pronounce. And Boris. Oh, that explains so much. I meant to say is if you want around 5 kilometers per second when passing the... Oh, you want around 5 kilometers per second when passing the eastern coast of Mexico. We might be on board for that, but we're going to need to deflect a lot, which is going to cost us a lot of speed. So I'm actually going to go ahead and nose down a bit and ease into this and see if we can't increase our cross range by a little bit here. How much time we got left in the simulation? 22 minutes. That's awesome. We're going to end up buying another 110 minutes, all of 10 of which we are going to use. Perfect. Yeah, I'll say a real space shuttle would have a 45-degree AOA on reentry. This one, maybe not so much. Although we're not bleeding speed as fast as I thought I was, but that does not take into account the 15-degree inclination change we need to make on the back of aerodynamic forces alone. So let's see how well we can make that into a thing. And really, the more of it we can do higher up, the more effective it will be. And like, the cheaper. Is scatter water even loaded? I mean, yeah, that is cloud. That is water. Since I'm using the Linux version of Scatterer for this install, we are almost on point already as far as our angle to KSC. We are here, which takes us off that way. We'll just keep monitoring this until my headphones give me that crackling sound, indicating that something is certainly not amiss. Trained pilot fucker landed on Mars. You need to put air quotes on... No. Oh man, they'll say Armstrong was the first Kerbal on Mars. Who was the second who really screwed it up? I'm so mad that I can't remember this right now. Let's get some of that wiggle. Nope, there's that overheat warning and almost insta-burn. I'll say Boris was on station. He's also on board. Don't talk bad about Boris. He's our only demolitions certifiable expert. Are you really going to make me pivot out of this so that you don't take one of my SSMEs? No, you're... Oh, come on. Alright, fine. 20 degrees looks to be our cap currently. Still at 6.4 kilometers per second. And just approaching the western coast of Mexico, so we might be okay until this happens. Okay. Jesus. Come on, man. Cut me some slack here. Okay, water zero. Scatter is known for pooping itself and showing the bottom of the ocean instead of water. It has done that many, many times. The moon landing's fake, so how can he land on Mars? Solid question. It was all filmed by Stanley Kubrick, but he was such an asshole he insisted that it be filmed on location. Should the SSME be in the most heat-resistant part? Yes, real heat has determined that that was a lie. What else is overheating? Okay, thrust report. That will be fine. I'm sure that will be fine. How's our telemetry? Still a bit south. Let's just go ahead and bank into it a little bit and maybe flare it out, because still 6.1 kilometers per second halfway through Mexico, burning off an SSME. Very, very interesting. Stable as all hell, though. Like, I have absolutely no problem making it point exactly where I want it to point. It just keeps wanting to burn things apart. By the way, Earth is a triangle. A very flat triangle. Alright. It looks like we've got a pretty good oh, hey, we're almost on point. I hope, anyway. Yeah, that still takes us to the southern edge of Florida. I'm going to angle that just a bit more. We're going to watch it for a second. And, yeah. Cool. I'm going to let this fly for a second. Y'all don't let it screw up. I got to check on something. I'll be back in exactly 30 seconds. The southern edge of Florida, like what, Miami? No. Maybe Orlando. Anyway. I gotta run and take care of something. I will be back in 30 seconds. Alright, I'm back. Many apologies. Let me catch up with chat since it seems we are in the Gulf of Mexico. We are on angle and we are at 5 kilometers per second. Are we on point here? Baran was better than Shuttle. I mean, ooh. It's easier to be better when you don't have to do a lot of the research yourself, but then again, what good is being better? What good is owning a Ferrari if you can't afford to drive it? You're the only spec. Mr. Beast, 9,000. Thank you very much for the follow, man. Greatly appreciated. Pump some fuel forward, yo. A little fast, maybe. The fact that it stays stable this long is shocking, really. I would agree, but we do need to bleed off some speed, and we need to pump some fuel forward. So, out. How much room we got up there? 800? If wandering right back into our stable zone, we're just going to go ahead and leave it all forward, and hopefully we can kill off as much of this speed as we want. Hold pitch too long, ends up in Europe. I do have brakes. I don't think they're in the airstream. I'll say the issue I have with Buran is that it threw away the most expensive parts. So it was actually, in theory, more expensive to operate than STS. But again, what good is owning a Ferrari if you can't afford to drive it? Alright, we still need a little bit of northern deflection. Let's just see if we can't get a degree or two out of this thing. Alright, here we go. Hello, Louisiana. Good to see you. Alright, yeah, we're still coming in just a couple of degrees south. 3 kilometers per second. Is this still too fast, Wook? I'm a little shocked that this is fast. This seems slow, but I have a very bad feel for these things. Might need some S-turns, so yes, too fast still. I'm gonna say Scorpio's on the right track. I'll say the only reason shuttles work is in RSS RO is Kerbal construction time giving you 100% refunds, whereas really if we wanted to get serious work done in orbit in real life, sticking with the Apollo program was the way to go. I'm just partial to shuttles in this game because I was kind of a flight sim junkie growing up. And they are fun to fly. And an engineering masterpiece. So, yeah, 3.5 kilometers per second. Let's go ahead and angle this up, see if we can't bleed off as much speed as humanly possible. Oh, wow, yeah, look at that. Look at that speed drop. Let's see if we can't just get that angle to change also. That would be cool, right? Oh, yeah, look at that shift. It's moving at like 1/10 of a degree per second. Do it. Used Apollo for 50 years in your RP-0 save. I'll say, I've seen the pictures. It is a fact. It did work. Oh yeah, we are way the hell too fast. So let's go ahead and see how much of my bullshit piloting this thing is going to put up with. Flare, baby, flare. Let's go way north. Like Tallahassee north. Look at how far off our prograde we are, and it's just putting up with it. That is awesome. Very rare to find something that can be this tolerant of such aggressive piloting. Alright, keep pitching it north, because we're going to have to walk it back south here in a little bit if we're going to get rid of these last 2 kilometers per second before we cross this skinny little state. You know, like, I'm somewhere here in this dark spot, so maybe I'm just a little mad about it. 14, 15 meters. Oh, yeah, we are coming up on the last little bits of our fuel, so let's go ahead and you can dive and get into the thick atmo and slow down that way. Yeah, we're still at 50 some odd kilometers. We should be way lower than this. We could also turn off atmospheric autopilot, let it kick itself into a spin, and that would certainly bleed off this excess speed rather quickly. But yeah, I think maybe trying to angle down during these turns would be a better plan than trying to preserve altitude. Stall. Dive and brakes. Alright. Let's just go ahead and lock the brakes to full open. We might need those rudders, as it turns out. What's our telemetry looking like? Yeah, a little south. That's fine. We'll turn back north, but we're already down to 1.2 kilometers per second and slowing pretty quickly, so we're just going to stick with it. Dive, dive, dive. Sure. I think we can pull this out. I'm hoping. I can see the runway. There it is, right next to our craft settings window that I should have gotten rid of a long time ago. 900 meters per second. RCS depleted. Probably means we can get rid of these windows and free up some space. Alright, everybody. I hope your G-suits are working, because it's going to get a little uncomfortable in here today. Down to 500 meters per second and 18 kilometers. That was alarmingly successful. Thank you, air brakes. Yeah, we are subsonic. Oh man, we went from like wildly overshooting KSC to oh god, I hope we can glide slope this. Alright, Net, place your bets. I have my doubts. I have my doubts as well, Lucy. We're angled in. We're just going to ride this for a while and abuse the hell out of physics warp. I got 15 minutes left to stream, so... Holy crap. And I just looked down and I said, notice that we are at 299 followers here on Twitch. One, that is absolutely awesome. Thank you, everyone who has already signed up and is a follower. But let's take a wager. If I can stake the landing, can I get one more? And we'll make it an even 300 for a solid test flight. Holy crap, dude. Coming around 250 meters per second stable glide, then slow down to 150 by 1 kilometer and try to land at 125 meters per second with a gentle sink rate. By the way, stage in the chutes. So which neighborhood are we landing in? Hopefully one very close to the runway. 256. I should have been paying attention to what is a stable glide slope instead of engaging with chat. Sorry, chat. Grove Street. Get your green hats on. So KSP is more CPU than GPU, correct? Absolutely, yes. And even KSP in its later iterations, KSP 1 anyway, is much more optimized for single thread. So if you're trying to build a PC to run Kerbal Space Program well, the single best thing you can do is try to get a processor with the most single core performance that you can. Alright, what is that decoupler? I don't trust it. I'm going to... Chutes are staged. I think we're honest to God going to be a little too fast, but we're going to see how this banking maneuver is going to work as far as putting us down on the runway. This is the docking port in the bay. Okay. .207 meters per second and falling. Let's just tip ourselves a Little bit north. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It's so stable we can't even offset that prograde vector by a degree or two, which I would really, 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 really like to do. Angle it in. Let's set ourselves up for an approach. Nose up just a bit more. We got some more speed to bleed here. 200 meters per second. We might just stick this, which would be really weird for me on a live stream. Roll control doesn't seem to like me too much, but let's swoop it in. A little bit of rudder, a little bit of stick up. 181. Time to start our final approach. Couple of high G pegs there. Gear out. That will help. Oh, come on! Jesus! Oh my god, I'm about to have a heart attack, and here this thing comes around. 52,000 funds to stick the landing. Do it. Oh, we're gonna do it. I'm taking this opportunity to catch my breath and let my heart rate return to a normal human level. So place your bets now, everyone. Sip your beverages. We're going in. Oh god, roll control. Roll control to Major Tom. We might need a bit more authority on those. Oh god, what the hell? 157 meter per second. Roll, you bastard, roll! Oh god, I can't roll this thing fast enough to get lined up. Yeah, we're gonna abort using roll control and switch instead to rudders only. 120, angle it down. Rudders. How about pitch? Come on! Roll! You surly bastard! Alright, well, we're gonna land next door to the KSC, perhaps after performing a very delicate flyby. But chances of hitting this runway, especially with wheels down, are null and void. Roll control. Roll control. There's the runway. And there's a touchdown. I didn't even pay attention to what our vertical speed was, but we're on the ground and we're intact. Holy crap. Butter, butter. -7. That's not terrible. That is terrible, honest to God. Anything above -3 is considered a structural rebuild. Duck noodle bounce when it touches over 1.5 vertical. Well, you know, if you're gonna miss the runway horribly and just be a terrible pilot altogether, you might as well park next to the monolith. Because hey, why not? So with our simulated crew safely on the simulated ground next to a simulated obelisk for some reason, I'm sure. Touchdown was a little rough, but they made it through, and I guess we've proven exactly how rugged this thing can be. Flies pretty well too. We're just gonna make some adjustments to roll control and go ahead and get this thing into production. It's nice to have something like this on standby, and I certainly do have some missions charted out for it. We would warp around a little bit just for the sake of the screenshots. Wait for daybreak. There it is. Very nice. Thanks, squad. Always appreciated. Hell yeah. I'm very glad they made it home safe. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.